Welcome to Diva on a Mission podcast, where we share snippets of joy to uplift, inspire, and motivate you. I'm your host, Eva the Diva, and I'm thrilled to bring you everyday stories and transform them into great experiences. Happy October. We're in the spooky season now, and to celebrate, I wanted to discuss speculative fiction and as it relates to Kenyan writers and to the African continent in general. So, yes, speculative fiction in Kenya. I believe the future is African. So, I want to welcome you back to this podcast, and I want to discuss speculative fiction, in the realm where past, present, and the future collide, right? It is a genre in fiction, and it asks, what if artificial intelligence ruled the world? What if forgotten myths held the key to our survival? What if we could bend time and rewrite history? I've grown up with Transformers, She-Ra and He-Man, X-Men, the Marvel world, Black Panther especially. And these are comics that are making us more comfortable with the idea of speculative fiction. I'm also an avid lover of Octavia Butler, right? And I love sci-fi. I love Nnedi Okorafor. I love her work. And I love work in that genre. So, of course, I want to discuss writers that are pushing boundaries in that arena in my area, right? That's Kenyan writers, filmmakers, just creatives in that sphere. So Kenyan writers specifically are diving into this space with powerful, mind-expanding stories that reimagine our world and challenge the status quo. And this is in contemporary life. When it comes to politicians, they're using it. When it comes to how we live our everyday lives, the things we create, our art, all of that, we are pushing the envelope. So I want us to unravel the magic, the myths, and the mystery of speculative fiction in Africa, right? So what is it, right? To me, it is a broad genre that includes science fiction, fantasy, horror, magical realism, and everything in between. It's the genre of possibilities, of what could be, what might have been, and what we dare to dream. Think, Black Panther, a world where African culture and technology thrive side by side. Or Wakanda Forever, it's Wakanda is Black Panther, or say, for example, even X-Men. Although they didn't really explore the African continent, there are ways that we are placed in the middle of these stories that, just makes us more keen to consume that content or kind of lean into those stories, right? So it is not just about escaping reality, it is about questioning it, reshaping it, and sometimes warning us about what is to come. So in Kenya, speculative fiction is emerging as a powerful tool for storytelling. So what's fueling the rise? I think I'm going to explain it in three broad terms. If you agree or if you have different perspectives, please share. So there's a renewed interest in African mythology and futurism. From Kikuyu and Luo myths to Kamba folk tales, we are rediscovering our indigenous knowledge systems, right? We are more keen to learn our language, learn our fashion, learn our myths, religions, and the mysticisms that are born of tribal culture, right? And we're using this in the works we create. Say, for example, the speculative fiction to imagine our histories and tell stories that center African perspectives. That's number one. Number two, the boom in African science and technology. With advancements in computer science, computer technology, AI, space research, and renewable energy, African sci-fi is no longer just fiction. It's our future. Writers are blending traditional wisdom with futuristic visions. The third reason I believe this is becoming more prevalent, there is the global success of African speculative fiction. Kenyan writers like Makena Onjerika and filmmakers like Wanuri Kahio are making waves internationally. Platforms like Brittle Paper and the Kane Prize are showcasing African writers and even Kenyan writers to the world. So, who do you think you should be checking out in the arena of speculative fiction? Let's go to the OG, the late Ngugi wa Thiong'o. He wrote Wizard of the Crow, which is a satirical, magical, realistic on dictatorship and power struggles. This book is a must read. Makena Onjerika, she is a Kenyan speculative fiction anthology writer, and she won the Kane Prize and is now curating a speculative fiction collection. Wanuri Kahio, she wrote, directed Pumzi film, and this is a short film that imagines a water-scarce future, and it was Kenya's first major sci-fi film. Dilma Dila, A Killing in the Sun. Not Kenyan, but close, Ugandan. A writer with ties to Kenya, and he crafts horror, sci-fi, and fantasy stories that are deeply African. Alexander Ikawa. He weaves speculative themes into both fiction and film, capturing Kenya's evolving narratives. Binyavanga Wainaina, the late Binyavanga Wainaina. He wrote, One day I will write about this place. It's a mix of memoir and speculative elements, challenging Western perspectives on Africa. Then we have Kinyanjui Kombani, Den of Iniquities. It is a socio-political thriller with dystopian elements that feel eerily close to our reality today. We also have Muthoni Wageshuru. She writes fantasy and folktale adaptations. Her work is a beautiful blend of Kenyan folklore and speculative storytelling. Then we have Peter Kimani, Dance of the Jacaranda. While it's historical, his narrative style bends time and perception in fascinating ways. And last but not least, we have Nikhil Singh, who writes speculative short fiction. Born in Kenya, his work explores African futurism and cyberpunk aesthetics. We also have a lot of other creatives outside of the fiction or the writing arena. And maybe if you guys are interested, I have a podcast in relation to that with speculative art. And I can put a link to it in the show notes for you to review and listen. So, what does this mean in this spooky season? Speculative fiction isn't just about imagining the impossible. It's about seeing new possibilities for our world. From ancient myths to futuristic tech, Kenyan writers are reclaiming their narratives and pushing creative boundaries. So here's my challenge to you. Pick up a book by one of these authors, watch Pumzi, or better yet, write your own speculative story and share it with us. The future of African fiction is limitless, and you, my friend, are a part of it. That's it for today on Diva on a Mission podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it, subscribe on YouTube, as we are taking a break on Spotify as we try and figure out their terms and conditions and how it'll affect our work. But hey, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, at DOAM Pod, on Facebook, Diva on a Mission. Also on YouTube, Diva on a Mission Podcast. So reach out to us on any of those platforms or send us an email at doampodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep questioning, and keep pushing boundaries. I'm your host, Eva the Diva, and I'll see you next time. Peace.